Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Coffee Shop Thursday. Got one of Janice's mugs this time. See all those chickens? Mm, mm, awesome, just awesome. Say, we're here to brush the bugs off my head. This won't go away, these stupid flies. What can you say? It's a beautiful day out here, and I hope you're enjoying yours. Thought we'd take a look at the alternate Old Testament reading for this coming Sunday, as well as the psalm that's assigned to it, because they fit hand in hand. And the Old Testament reading is one that we had earlier during the last cycle. And I think it even pops up again in Advent this year. I'm not sure, but I think I saw that it did. It is one that talks about the Davidic line lasting forever, that God would establish a covenant with his people, and he would not abandon that covenant, and that covenant was David's house would rule forever. Well, but the story doesn't start really there. It's in 2 Samuel chapter 7. It starts with the fact that David wants to build a temple. He wants to build a place to put the Ark of the Covenant. And he has done all the things that lead up to this point that show that, hey, this is what we need to do. In other words, he's ruled militarily. They defeated their enemies. They've been able to recapture Jerusalem and move in and make that the city of David. He's built himself an awesome palace of cedar, and he sits around and he goes, hey, what's this all about? I live in this gorgeous place, and God's in that tent over there. The Ark of the Covenant, it's in a tent. That's no good. We got to build him a house, to really celebrate and extol him. And so he talks to the prophet Nathan, and Nathan says, hey, go ahead, do it. But later on, Nathan gets a vision from God saying, hey, no. I don't want that. You go back and tell David that's not the thing. You're not going to domesticate me. Well, he doesn't say it in those words, but that's what David's trying to do. But I think David is really open and honest, and he wants to do right by God by building him a nice place to be housed. Isn't that funny, talking about that, housing God? But that, in essence, that's what David wants to do. But his heart is in the right place. But God said, no. I've dwelt in tents all this time. I've lived in the midst of the people. I don't need a house. But then there's a twist that goes on in 2 Samuel, and that twist is, I'm, meaning Yahweh, God, I'm going to build you a house, David. And it's a house that's not brick and mortar or cedars. This is the house that's going to be your family, your dynasty, that's going to rule forever. Rule forever. All right. So that's the covenant promise that's made to David by God. Now you move into Psalm 89. Psalm 89 was probably written just after the exile of the people, and they've returned home now to Jerusalem, and things, as we've seen before, are just a mess. So what's going on with 89? 89 is one psalm that really hones in on the Davidic covenant. That's the one that was made to David, that his house would rule forever. And there's only a portion of that psalm, and that's the reading, the alternate reading, that is read in church. But you have to read the entire psalm to get the full impact of what really is happening. Otherwise, you're just getting this little, the covenant of David, yeah, it's great, and I'm going to be there for him, and all that kind of stuff, which is fine and dandy. But it starts out with this really, it's a beautiful poetic expression of thanks to God for his wonderful creation and how his hand is in everything that you see around us, and it's really kind of cool. And then it moves into the Davidic covenant, which is the reading. But all of a sudden, bam, it's like the door slams shut, and the psalmist is saying, what's up, God? Why did you all of a sudden just pull the rug out from underneath our feet? And look at the devastation all around us. You have abandoned us, have you? And then the last part of the psalm ends with a plea. God, you got to rescue us. You got to turn things around. Otherwise, it's all for naught. And the fact will be that you haven't kept your end of the covenant. Well, that's how the psalm kind of ends, although it does end with a word of praise. Blessed be the Lord forever. Amen and amen. Even after going through this plea to rescue us, there's still that element of trust and hope at the very, very end. So you see, the two go together, the reading from the Old Testament and the psalm reading, and they are in harmony, that God has established a covenant, that God will remain faithful to his covenant. And it says in both instances, in the Samuel reading and in the psalm, that regardless of how the kings who come after David act, or even David himself for that matter, God will not give up on them. He might punish them, but he's not going to give up on them. Regardless of all that, this will reign forever. But it seems like that did not happen because of the Babylonian exile. The Christian church picks up on this whole theme and sees within it the promised Messiah, even as the Jewish people still do. They see the Davidic covenant still in effect, still alive, that will come through a promised Messiah. We see it as Jesus the Christ. Okay, well, pick up your chicken mug and join with me on this Coffee Shop Thursday in extolling the praises of our God, whose promises hold fast and true for you and for me forever. Blessings be with you.